Okay, welcome guys. Welcome to another Pycoders Academy Python course video. So in our previous video, we learned about variables. We said variables are just containers like folders, and it stores all kinds of data. And we learned about the features of the variables, and we said they are name of variable and the content of variable. And we talked about the naming of the variables. But today we talk about the content of variable, which are just data types. And data types are different types of data used in programming, and they include numbers, lists, dictionaries, strings, and many more. And in Python, there are four basic data types. Namely, we have the int, we have the float, we have the strings, we have the boolean. So the int is just a shortcut for saying integers. So integers we know are just numbers with no decimal place. Example include 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And float are also numbers but with decimals. So example 5.5, 7.9, 6.44. And another basic data type is strings. And strings are just anything in quotes, whether double quotes or single quote, they are strings. And example include how are you, which is in a string, and we have name, which is also in a string, which is also in a quote. Sorry. So we have how are you, which is in quotes, and we have name, which is in quotes. We have another 4. 4 is supposed to be an integer, but since it's in quotes, it becomes a string. So you have a single quote too. So you can have something like single quote, how are you, now hello. Yeah, so this is also a string. Then moving on to boolean. Boolean is just true or false. So it's just two let's say data types. So they are true or false. So variables store these data types. So variables store these data types. As I said, there are two features of variables. We have the name of the variable and the content. And the content is the data type. So variables store these data types. The way of storing the data type in a variable is called assigning. So if you want to store a data type inside a variable, you go through a process called assigning. And in that process, what we write is variable underscore name equals data type, as we have here, variable underscore name equals data type. The reason why I brought this underscore is, like as I said in the second rule, when you have a space between two words which is used to name a variable, you replace it with an underscore. So here the variable name, you put the variable name here, then you put the data type here, and you use the equal sign, which is also known as the assignment operator in Python, to assign the data type to the variable. An example, using variable name first name. So here our variable name is first name, and storing my first name, so my first name as in Faisal. So I'm storing Faisal inside the variable name first underscore name. Then another example is storing 2, which is an int data type, inside a variable name number. That's all. We can have another example, like let's say storing a sentence and saying where are you going to so we have a sentence as the variable name, and where are you going to is a string data type. Then we can have another one, let's say I are you underscore going. Since they have space, you have to replace it with underscore. Are you going? I said true. So the quote won't be required when you are storing data boolean data types and as well as the numbers, but when you are storing or assigning a string, the quote is required. So the quote should be double or single. So that's all for data types. Let's move on to the next video.